It is a big message for all Colorado drivers. Focus on the road, and it is the driving factor for one Colorado state lawmaker. Hi, welcome to Comcast Newsmakers. We are here in the halls of the state capitol to talk with Representative Jovan Melton. Welcome, thanks for being with us.
Thanks so much for having me, I appreciate it.
Let's talk about this legislation. You know, we all hit the roads, and even though we know that texting is illegal in Colorado while you're driving, you cannot get on the road without seeing someone texting or perhaps even doing it yourself. You're taking this a next step, the cell phone use in a vehicle, the next step. Tell me what you're doing.
Sure, definitely. Well, we're introducing a bill that will require that drivers focus on the road by taking the phones out of their hands. It still will allow for people to make phone calls via their headset or Bluetooth or just the equipment in their car. But the big thing is just making sure that we strengthen what's already on the books. Currently, we can't text and drive. However, that's where the provisions end. Technically, someone could be driving and playing Angry Birds while they're getting to and from work. So we want to make sure that we're keeping people safe as they get back and forth from work.
Right, and in terms of that, how big is the problem? I mean, we know that we see it, you know, sadly on a daily basis, even in a state that has outlawed texting and driving, but you do see people all the time with their hands up to their heads and all kinds of weather, as we know in Colorado. How big is the problem?
The problem is very big. In Colorado, we've seen at least 24,000 accidents as of 2009, which is the last statistical data that we have. And people are just, you know, exactly, driving distracted and not focusing on what they need to be. I know that I'm a new father, and having my daughter in the back seat, I want to make sure that I'm driving safe and the people around me are driving safe.
Was there a particular instance, Representative, that brought this to your attention? Was there a situation or an accident that you heard about or had someone tell you about?
Well, this is actually a constituent bill. This came to me through a group that works with another group from Fort Collins called Focus on Driving.
Yeah.
And so our constituents came forward and said, we're really concerned about this happening. Coming from a suburban district, especially where 90% of the people from my district are driving some great distances to get to and from work, we wanted to make sure we're keeping the road safe.
Right. Now you're also addressing mental health with another piece of legislation, and this really relates back to the James Holmes, the theater shooting case that all of us did hear about. What are you trying to accomplish with that bill?
Sure. We want to make sure that mental health therapists have the tools that they need to help prevent some of these tragic crimes that are happening. What this bill does is it allows for mental health therapists to be able to notify local authorities should there be a threat towards an institution or a place. Our current statute is still somewhat unclear as to what mental health therapists can report on. It says a specific person. So basically, if I'm a therapist and I have a patient that says they're going to harm someone like their neighbor, they can report it. But if they say they're going to harm a movie theater, a school, a mall, it's unclear as to what the therapist can do in those situations. So we want to make sure that we're giving them the tools to keep our community safe.
Right, and it does seem like we've had a predominance of this kind of thing happen in Colorado. Have you heard of any information as to why we're such a target for that kind of thing?
Unfortunately, I haven't had those conversations yet, but what I want to make sure of is that should these occurrences happen, and they're happening not just in Colorado, but across the country, whether that's just, you know, a number of different issues that are driving those things, we just want to make sure that we're ready to respond to them.
Taking the steps that we need to. Okay, Representative Jovan Melton, thanks so much for being with us. We appreciate you being here.
Beverly, great to see you again.
And thanks for watching Comcast Newsmakers. I'm Beverly Weaver.